Welcome back, family, to Northside LDN. And today we've got Arsenal looking to bring in £60 million Mitoma. We also got news Barcelona looking for Arteta to be the new manager, as Xavi will be stepping down as Barcelona manager at the end of the season. And also Barcelona also eyeing Thomas Partey if Arsenal are looking to get rid of our midfielder. Before we get into that, Jez, how you doing, bro?
I'm all good, mate. All good. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Interesting. Barcelona after Arteta thought he was going to get a new contract at Arsenal. If Barcelona want him, take him. That's what I'm going to say. Take him. Sod all this nonsense about a new contract. New contract for what? What's he done? What's he won? Won FA Cup with a team that wasn't his, and kicked us out of the FA Cup every round ever since. So yeah, thanks for that, Arteta. You know, big up to you. No, I don't want him to get another contract, man. But yeah, Barcelona want him because Xavi's stepping down. Please come and get him. I ain't got a problem with it.
Let's start with Arteta then. Let's start with Arteta replacing Xavi. I just don't understand why they would come for him. Other than him being Spanish, why would they come? He's never been a manager that's been able to get us over the line and win a major honor. What's he going to do with Barcelona? That's the expectation, which is why Xavi is leaving at the end of the season. They won the league last season, and this season he's behind. I think it's Girona and Real Madrid. So that's why he's stepping down. Is really Arteta the man to get them over the line? I don't really think so. I don't think he's good enough. And they've got a lot of youth projects, you know, a lot of young players at that football club. And Arteta is showing that he's not that great at working with youth. You know, we've got a whole bench full of youth. Reece Nelson's not evolving. You know what I mean? Neither is ESR. Nuntavage has not evolved as well, his game under Mikel Arteta. There's a lot of youngsters at Arsenal that are still not progressing. You know, under this manager, Lokonga, Fabi Vieira, these are players that he brought into this club and are still struggling to develop and evolve their game. So what's he going to do with La Masia? Because they're going to be expecting him to work wonders with a lot of the youngsters coming through their La Masia academy. And I don't see him doing it, bro. I really don't. Even some of the young players in our starting lineup are becoming a bit stale in their game. They're looking a bit predictable. You know, they're not working on their deficiencies, in my opinion. I think our front three are looking very samey. And the same every season, we're going in saying, asking the same questions about, can Jesus be a goal scorer? Can Saka be able to beat his man? Is Martinelli more than a player that just attacks space? You know, has he got more composure in front of goal? Is he going to be able to have different tricks, you know, up his sleeve? Odegaard, is he able to play through the press? I don't see how this manager's a step up from Xavi going to Barcelona if they want him. But just like you, I agree. If they want our Super Mick Arteta, I'll be singing all the Super Mick Arteta songs. I'll be coming out with all the PR. They can have him. I'm not. Listen, I'll overgas this manager up just so they can come and buy him. You know what I mean? Come get him out of his contract. What do you make of it, Jez? Do you think he's a good fit for Barcelona?
No, you're quite right in what you just said. You know, name me one player that has improved at Arsenal under Arteta. Even ones we've brought in, quality, you know, decent level players. Trossard gone backwards, you know. Not seeing it, doesn't look like the same player he was when he first came in. But working with youth players, yeah, great point, because I don't think he's got the levels. How often does he bring on youth players? I mean, I'm talking on the bench. You know, he brings him in for nonsense games to take the P, like he did against Brentford, yeah, to get that narrative. Oh, well, he brought on the youngest Arsenal player to play in the Premier League, blah, 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 blah. Right? Yeah, okay. Nice little record you got on that. But where's he gone? Where's he gone since? Never seen him. Disappeared. And I don't see him as a person that improves players. I don't. Not seen it at all at Arsenal. Never see any of these young kids coming through from Hale End. I mean, you can't make it up. I mean, can you imagine? This has got to be a nonsensical rumour that Barcelona want Mikel Arteta. he can't get it over the line at Arsenal, and yet you've got the second biggest club in Spain, right? Who are in a bit of a mess at the moment. They got some big name players there. I'm sorry, I think Arteta is just too arrogant for it. I don't think he's got what it takes to actually manage a team of that standard. He's proven to come to Arsenal. He should have done his apprenticeship somewhere else. All the time he was working under Pep Guardiola at Man City, he was just one of the team. Why? I questioned it from day one, Northside. Why the hell have we got this guy as our manager? There's far better quality out there we could have got at the same time. And it's proven. I know there's a lot of split in the fan base over this, but fact is, what has he done? Nothing. Nothing. Right? We just capitulate every single time in every competition. Are we going to win the Premier League? No. Are we going to win the Champions League? No. We're out of the Carrier Bag Cup and we're out of the FA Cup. So that's another season done and dusted. So your time's up, mate. At the end of the day, you tried your best. You've given it your all, but it's come to a point in time where it's time to go. You can't keep a team like Arsenal just meandering along. It's all good and it's all happy. No, it's not all good. It's not all happy. And I know for fact, not all the fan base that go at matches every day are happy about Arteta. People like to shout that narrative out there, right? That, you know, oh, yeah, it's all happy. It's all happy at the Emirates. No, it's not. I know a lot of people that go. Kenny Ken tells me he goes home every game. He tells me nobody's bloody happy about it. People I talk to around Highbury, yeah, who maybe not match going fans now because they're fed up with the club, but they speak to people that do go and they're not all happy about this. So I don't understand how the Barcelona fan base, right, would accept Arteta. Can you imagine 5 games in, right, and they ain't won a game? Can you imagine? They'd be out the door.
The funny thing is, Jez, they had, what was it? The season they won the league with Xavi, they were £1 billion in debt and they still demanded success. So good luck to Arteta because he spent 640 million, yeah, in 4 years and still hasn't won a league. And he just won them a league last season and they're still like, yeah, and what? And what? You know what I mean? It's a new season. But whatever happened last year, well, that was last year. What are you doing for us lately? Do you know what I'm saying? So the demands are not going to be, oh, give him 4 years, oh, Project Youth, oh, give him time with the youngsters. And he's got a few youngsters there that he's going to have to work with and get the most out of, like Gavi, like Pedri. You know what I mean? He's got to work with them. And for me, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't think he's the right fit because you remember he couldn't deal with Ozil. We couldn't deal with Aubameyang and the egos. Well, going over to Barcelona, he's got Gundogan. So good luck trying to tell him about something. You know what I mean? Multiple-time Premier League winner. Good luck trying to tell Lewandowski what to do because he's not going to take it either. He's not going to sit there and listen to Mikel talking rubbish. So if he can't deal with egos, he's got some players there that are, you know, big players in the game, players that have been there and done that. So they're not going to be listening to Mikel Arteta getting out the flipping laminated sheets and flipping, you know, waving his hands on the sideline, getting them warming up on the sideline, doing Zumba lessons. You know what I'm saying? Like he's doing at Arsenal. I can't remember what game it was. The players are warming up on the side, look like Zumba. I'm like, what's going on here? This feel da puta, I swear down. But this is what I'm saying. Like, I just don't understand it. Like the standards are going to be higher. The fan base standards are higher. There's players there that have won a lot more than any player he's managed over here at Arsenal. So I just don't understand how he manages that. And they're going to be expecting him to deliver in year one. If they expected a manager that had that was going into a club that were £1 billion in debt and expecting silverware, Mikel Arteta is not going to be given the luxury of finishing 8th, 5th, you know, 2nd, and then on the flipping 4th year to be expected to win the league. They're going to want to win the title straight away. So I just don't really see it, to be honest with you. I really don't see it. I don't see how he's the right fit. But any Barcelona representatives, if you are watching my little channel, listen, Super Mikel Arteta, he knows exactly what you need. Get behind him, and if you don't support him, yeah, then f off to f off to the Bernabeu. Do you know what I'm saying? He's the man for you. Give him 4 or 5 years. He'll come good, and just get behind him. Yeah, and anyone that talks up against him is toxic and negative. So yeah, I hope they do come and get him. I hope they do come and get Mikel Arteta. But it's very funny that he's getting a contract renewal, and all of a sudden he's getting these links. I know Xavi just announced that he's leaving Barcelona, but I think it's just his agent trying to get him a bumper deal at Arsenal.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is. It's the fact of the matter is that, you know, let's be put the facts on the table, right? In all seriousness, what if this is a true thing? And I don't believe it. I agree with you. It's his agent just trying to get him another good package, right? Without having done anything, yeah. Kick us out of every competition, disrespecting cups. Why? Why would he get that contract? Why? Why should he get a new contract? And why would Barcelona, as you rightly say, will want to win something in that first season? Yeah, they're a massive club. They're not going to accept mediocrity management. This is just a bold statement that's come out from somebody. I mean, I would be absolutely shocked if it did happen, but I can't see it. I cannot see it. You know, Barcelona, nah. And I don't want him here next season, mate. I've had enough of him. You know, this is Arsenal, a big football club in England, and I expect success. I know we go through barren periods. We've done it over the years, but you know, I don't accept this dross that we're seeing now. The football's worse now than it was last year. Last year, he was cooking it, and I was really I was praising him. Not that I wanted him. I was our manager, but I said, "Yo, you got a team playing, man. You know, top of the league, 93% of the season, and it all goes down the toilet. You know, at the end of the day, fair play to you. But what have you done this year? Top third now. What's going to happen on Tuesday night when we go away to Nottingham Forest?" And I've been when I do my show later, right? I've been looking up all the facts, so I've got facts to talk about. We are not good there. In the history of Arsenal Football Club, we are not a good team at the City Ground. So, am I confident? I don't know. Don't think I am overconfident, that's for sure. But of recent times, Northside, since before Christmas, you know, 2 wins in 8, not a good record, is it, really?
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. I fully get it. I fully get it. But it is what it is. Let's move on to another Arsenal story. Partey being linked to Barcelona. Apparently, they want the price to be lowered. At the moment, we're valuing him outside of them being able to get the deal over the line. And what do you make of Partey? Because it's just, it seems like this manager doesn't want Partey. And I honestly don't understand it, because if you get rid of Partey, it's back to the same difference before we got Rice. Before we got Rice, we had Partey. If Partey's injured, you got El Nene. El Nene's been frozen out of the squad. El Nene should be out of the CDMs. El Nene should be the one that's moved on. El Nene's the one that this manager's not utilizing after re-signing a new contract. If there's a CDM that needs to move on, is El Nene. He hasn't used him barely. I don't even think I've even seen him this season. He hasn't used him. What is the point? Thomas Partey, for me, I don't understand. Like, if we're going to get rid of Thomas Partey, what happens if Rice gets injured? We're dropping levels in putting in El Nene. It just makes no sense. We're going backwards. You know, I'm happy with Partey and Rice being our 2 options as our CDMs. I'm happy with that. I actually think that's one of the very few positions where we got very good rotation, and we've got 2 players that can fight it out. I would actually prefer to play Partey in the Xhaka role, and I would like I'd like Rice sitting, because I think Partey is better. I think his passing ability is better than Declan Rice, and I'd like Declan Rice shielding the back line, and I'd like Partey doing the Xhaka role. I think it's an upgrade. I think going forward, he's very, very good, and defensively, he's an upgrade on Granit Xhaka, and I'd like to see that. I'd like to see how that would play out. Now, getting rid of Partey for what? I really don't understand the thinking if we're trying to let go of Partey. But surely Partey is going to want to leave if he's not being played, because we've been told earlier in the season he's injured, and then he's featuring for Ghana. I mean, how does that make sense? If you're injured and you can't play for Arsenal, how are you playing for your nation? I just think that the manager's falling out. I think there's been a falling out. What do you make of it? Partey to Barcelona, bro?
I totally agree with you. I think that there's not. I think the statement you've just made there about the Arteta Partey, I think there's again another player that's gone against the grain. Arteta doesn't like it. and he's looking to out him, and it will be a massive, massive mistake. He, in my opinion, my humble opinion, is our best midfielder, right? I mean, Elneny's come off the bench, I think, twice this season to do a job, and that's what you'll always get out of Elneny. He's not going to rip up trees. He's not a star, but he'll do you a job. Yeah, he'll hold it together, and that's it. Fair enough. Okay, we need better than that, and I can understand Barcelona, mate, wanting a Partey. I can get it. I think he's a decent player. I like him at Arsenal. I really do. I mean, it stinks all the time. This is another situation. It's like Pepe. I like Pepe. Yeah, bought him 72 million, sold him for sod all because again, Arteta didn't like him, didn't rate him. Maybe that's the better term. But I would keep Partey all day long. But this nonsensical thing, start of the season, right? You start him at right back. Why? Why? Ben White's out. Okay, we got other players who can start there. Why are you putting him there? Apparently, he has played in that position. I'm led to believe for his country, right? But all last season, you had him in midfield, and he was having a great game. So why don't you try that also, that tactic, right, or that positional tactic during the summer when we're on tour in America? Give it a go. But you didn't. First game of the season, you stick him at right back. And it clearly is not the position. And the interesting point is that, Barcelona, I can see need him. Yeah, no question. But he did it with Guendouzi. They had a fallout, gone. And Guendouzi's doing pretty damn well out in France, or wherever he is. But I just want to say this, right? Granit Xhaka, I never rated him, right? Especially after what he did at the game at Palace. He had one great season last season, and he did make a difference. I have to put my hands up to him. He did score goals. He had a totally different attitude to the game, and he left. Fair play. That was his family decision. Off they went. Ever since he's gone, right, we brought in Declan Rice, absolute levels, class player, rate him highly. Last few games, dip, and now he's injured. I'm led to believe. Will he appear against Forest on Tuesday night? Well, if he doesn't, what midfield are we going to turn out? Havertz, Jorginho, Partey, hopefully. Hopefully we'll get him. But, mate, honestly, we can't keep letting these players walk out the door. Who have we got that can replace Partey off the bench? Who have we got? No one. So
that's the thing. I'm a cash strapped. So at the end of the day, if we're going to get 40, 50 million, who are we going to invest 40, 50 million that gives us as good, if not better quality in that position? It makes no sense. He's making more issues. You know what I mean? I feel like he's making more issues. I completely agree with you, Jez. And also somebody in the chat said, oh yeah, but his availability. If we're talking about availability, then why don't you get rid of Tomiyasu? Because Tomiyasu seems to get injured almost every season. He gets injured. He always goes missing, or do you know what I'm saying? Because of injuries. And if we're talking about injuries as well, why is he not getting rid of ESR? We're hearing all these links about ESR being linked to this club, that club. Apparently, RB Leipzig are in for him. Newcastle are looking at him. If we're talking about availability, then why is it that ESR is constantly injured since he's been here? That is a big reason why a lot of people believe that he's been stunted in his growth and his development since Arteta's been here because of his injury record. If it's about injury record, then ESR should go. Tomiyasu should go, not just Partey. Because Partey is not the only player that gets injured quite frequently. So this is the thing. I understand about availability. I get that. But at the moment, we don't have the money to go out there and replace him for a better player. So at the end of the day, I would just rather stick to it because I'd rather have Partey on the bench than Elneny. A fully fit Elneny is still not as good as Partey. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes you got to pick your poison. And at the moment, since the narrative is we don't have money, which I don't believe, but if that is actually the case, who are we replacing him with? I honestly just don't understand. And if anything does happen to Rice, I know he's got a very good injury record. I think Rice has only had one injury since 2019, 2018, something like that. So he's got a very, very good injury record. But so did Partey before he came to Arsenal. And then the injury started happening. So it could, touch wood, hopefully it doesn't. It could happen to Declan Rice. And what if he drops? You know, because let's be honest, against Crystal Palace, he dropped a stinker. So when he's dropping a stinker, who's going to come in? Because Eze absolutely cooked him. We're going to bring in El Nene or Jorginho. I don't see it. All that PR for El Nene protecting his value. I don't see the same top gooners saying, "Oh, you know, El Nene is unjust the way he's been treated. I want him to start the next game." For everyone that told us that Jorginho can control a game, I don't see anybody saying, "Oh, Jorginho must start a game." I don't hear that narrative anymore. So all them top gooners, filhos da puta, falar merda, none of them are coming out with the same crap and the same energy and justifications that they had for these players this season, because their true feelings has come out. They don't really rate El Nene nor Jorginho. All that crap that they said about him was all PR. Because now we've got a better toy in Declan Rice. They're more than happy for those players to hold bench. But it was toxic and negative when we were saying, why did we get Jorginho? It was toxic and negative when we said, why is El Nene re-signing a new contract? Why is he still at the club? You know what I mean? So this is what I'm saying with this fan base. You see their true colors, yeah? Once you get a new toy, all of a sudden, the players that they were telling us can do a job and is a great player, all of a sudden they don't rate him anymore. And there's a load of them around the club. So I don't really understand it. I really, really don't understand it. But maybe it's just brewing up what was said when we got Declan Rice. If you remember, when we got Declan Rice, a lot of Arsenal fans said they wanted to get rid of Partey the start of the season. So maybe all of that's just coming back up again. They want to get rid of Partey because now all of a sudden we've got Declan Rice. I just don't understand it. I think a lot of Arsenal fans are way too focused on the starting 11, but you need a squad, you need a team, and you need players that can come in and do a job. And let's not forget 2 seasons ago when we were supposed to get top 4 and we had 10 games to go. We were the favourites ahead of Tottenham to get top 4. We had a couple of injuries, and all of a sudden those players on the bench that can do a job, didn't do a job for enough games, and Tottenham got top 4. So whenever we have to rely on this squad, and on this bench, they flatter to deceive. It's not good enough. They're always underwhelming, in my opinion. So I would not be getting. I would not let Partey move. But we need to start playing him.
But the thing is, Northside, if Partey made that decision and said, "Look, I want to get out of here. You know, I've had enough of my time here at Arsenal for whatever reason." We can all speculate what that reason may be, because, as you quite rightly said, before he came to Arsenal, he didn't really have a track record of any great injuries. He's picked up a lot of injuries since he's been at Arsenal. So maybe, it's him thinking, I want out. Maybe he spoke to his agent and his agent shipped around a little bit and, knocked on a few doors, possibly made a few phone calls, and Barcelona said, "Yeah, we're interested in that guy. Yeah, we'll take him because we need to strengthen our midfield." Who the hell are we going to replace him with? That's my question every time. Yeah, big name players will only want to come to a club if they see a good, solid manager, right, and who's got a proven track record. We haven't got that. Yeah, all right, we can spend big. We can spend big money because we're not the poor club that everybody likes to make us out to be, right? Arsenal have got bag loads of bleeding money in their reserve accounts, so we can go out and buy the players. But does it matter? Does it mean that if you've got that amount of money, that player will want to come? Can they go say, not sure about this manager. Don't really see him doing a lot, runs his gums a lot, talks us talk, but what's he really done? No, I want to come and win stuff. That's what every player wants in their footballing career. They want to win trophies. It's a short window in top flight football, and I don't see Arteta as the man at this stage in his career. Maybe if he was to drop down into a championship team or maybe a Div 1 team, he could then build himself back up. But I'm sorry, he has come to a big football club, mismanaged it, if you can call him a manager, if you want to give him that term. But the fact is, I don't believe he's got the levels. And I wouldn't be at all surprised, Northside, if we saw in the summer window, right, Barcelona come in for Partey, we take 45, 50 million, and he's gone. Wouldn't at all surprise me. And who are we going to bring in? Oh, well, you know, let's just ignore the fact, you know, that we need a proper striker. Although I believe we are linked with Callum Wilson for 18 million. Would I take him? Yes, because we need somebody who can score goals. Because at the moment we seem to be lacking that important factor. It seems to me a lot of people forget that you have to score goals to win games. But then there's the other narrative. Then there's the other narrative, isn't there? That strikers, it's not all about scoring goals if you're a striker. Really? I thought that was your job. I thought that was your job to actually score goals, you know? I mean, it's a bit like, whoever made that comment is a clown, because at the end of the day, it's a bit like saying, well, it's not the goalkeeper's job to stop scoring got a goal going in, you know? What's he do then? What's the goalkeeper about? You know, stupid narratives people come out with, man. Seriously, have I been watching this game of football most of my life to see this idiotic comment? No. Jesus. I mean, we need a striker. We cannot let a player like Partey leave in the summer, right? Because I'd be very concerned on who we get in to replace him. Yeah, I can see if it's true Barcelona would want him. He's a class player. But it'd be a massive, massive mistake. It'd be biblical proportions, mate, if we let a player like that go at this stage. Because we don't have the players to bring it in. No, we don't.
No, I hear it. I hear it. And we've only got a couple of days, yeah? If we're going to get rid of Partey, why don't we do this a lot earlier? Because we're leaving ourselves in a very silly situation. If you get rid of Partey right now, you've got a couple of days. Everyone's going to know that you've got rid of Partey, you need to replace him. So anyone you go up to, I mean, I keep seeing Milinkovic-Savic once again. Tokan Sadu David, the same name again and again every transfer window. I'm telling you, it's giving me flashbacks and PTSD about a while. You know what I mean? All the time, the same link, Milinkovic-Savic, Milinkovic-Savic. All of a sudden, in transfer mark, Milinkovic-Savic is valued at, I think it's 35 million euros. All of a sudden, they want 60. Because they're going to say, well, you've got 40 or 50 from Partey, and you want the player, right? So, you know what I mean? Let's call your bluff. Do you want him or not? If you really want him, 60 mil, 70 mil. Because all of a sudden, it's, well, you guys are the ones that are desperate. We're not desperate to sell. So it's up to you. If you want the player, play over the odds. And this is the thing. And I don't even know why we keep getting linked to Milinkovic-Savic, because I've seen so many seasons of Man United being linked to him. And let's just keep it real. Man United's player ID in the transfer window hasn't necessarily been amazing. They got Rasmus Haaland. Is he great? Would anyone want him at Arsenal? You know, they identified Anthony. Is he good enough? Would anyone take him at Arsenal? So this is the thing. You know, at the end of the day, we shouldn't be going for a lot of these players that have been linked to Man United, because in recent years, I'd say the majority of Man United's scouting system hasn't been that great. Yes, they got Casemiro. Yes, they got Varane. I'm talking about these players like Milinkovic-Savic that haven't really done much in the game and is still fairly unknown. I wouldn't really go to look at who Man United are looking to bring in and go after those targets. I don't think that's a good strategy at the moment, because they spent a lot of money on some players that ain't that great. So Milinkovic-Savic shouldn't be the answer. We should have done this earlier in the window, Jez. We should have been earlier in the window. We should not be trying to make these kind of changes to the squad right now. We should be making additions and getting rid of so many other players before we get rid of Thomas Partey. And like I said, this Milinkovic-Savic, if he's so great, how many seasons has he been linked to Arsenal and big moves in Europe, and it's never gone through? Maybe that's a sign. So I'm sick and tired of seeing Milinkovic-Savic as the answer at Arsenal, and I don't want Partey to go, if I'll be completely honest. Let's move on to the next story. Apparently, Arsenal won MITOMA. Jez, would you take MITOMA at Arsenal?
No, I don't think so. Don't think he's the levels we need. I mean, was it 60 million? Is that right? 60 million?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not convinced in it. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and wax lyrical. You know, I haven't watched a lot of that guy at all, right? So I can't really quantify my argument. But we need to go better, don't we? That's my view. You know, I just think we need to go better. Well, I just don't like at times that we link these players, these big fees. I mean, dear God, let's go back in time. How many years were we linked with buying, what was his name, Draxler? That fella?
Yeah.
About for 6 years, wasn't it? We were going to buy him.
Mm.
Never happened. Would this one happen? Well, 60 million for that player. I don't know. It's a lot of money. That's my view. Oh, bash. That's my view, man.
Yeah.
I think we can do better.
Yeah. No, listen, I actually agree with you. He's a player that when I've seen him, I like his ability, but ultimately, he's 26 years old. He's going to cost 50 to 60 million pounds. In 17 appearances, he had 3 goals and 5 assists. For me, that's not good enough for a 60 million pound player. That's not a big enough return. And people may say, oh, but it's Brighton. Yeah, but Solanke's putting up numbers and he's playing for Bournemouth. So it's irrelevant. You know what I mean? It's a little bit irrelevant. You know what I mean? I remember you remember the season of Michu? I know he was a one season wanderer. You know what I mean? He done one good season, then he fell off a cliff, but he still put up big numbers. The thing is, we see countless amounts of times players at smaller clubs or clubs that are not as talented as the big six, and they're able to put up numbers. Ivan Toney's able to put up numbers, and he's playing for Brentford. All due respect, what other player at Brentford would we take? So when we're looking at players like that, at the end of the day, Mitoma needs to be doing a lot better if he wants to go to Arsenal with a 60 million pound transfer fee, especially the fact that he's a left-sided winger. We've already got Trossard, we've already got Martinelli. Why would we need another left-sided winger? Maybe he can play on the right wing. We definitely do need another right winger, but then we're creating issues again. I think if you bring Mitoma and you're making him play as a right winger, it's kind of it's the same issue of bringing in Havertz, where you're bringing in Havertz to do a Xhaka role when he can't do the Xhaka role, and then you're bringing in Mitoma to play as a right winger when he's naturally a left winger. You're just making more issues, and I just don't understand it. I'd rather a natural right winger. I'd rather a player that is, putting up better numbers. I mean, to me, 3 goals and 5 assists and 17 appearances to me doesn't scream to me, oh yeah, he's the player that we should go and get, and all of a sudden we're now favorites, to win the league. I don't think he pushes the needle that far. And it's the same thing I've said about Tottenham's business. When they bought Werner, when they bought Johnson, I said those signings to me doesn't move the needle. To me, it doesn't scream of, all of a sudden Tottenham are guaranteed to get top 4. They're guaranteed in the title race. And I think Mitoma's signing screams to me of the same. I do think we need to recruit within the Premier League, because in January you want to push on and get over the line. And for us, it's to win a major honour, is to win the Premier League or the Champions League. And he's unproven in the Champions League. And for me, I don't think in the Premier League he's lighting it up. So, yeah, I kind of agree with you. I wouldn't go for Mitoma for 60 million pounds.
Too much money, man. I mean, we can do better than that. My question is, I mean, oh dear, the other night when we were on, when we was on with, I forgot his name now. Embarrassing. That show we were on the other night with Jess and Sophie, and I Dan Potts, yeah, and I said every player's a prostitute. They didn't like that statement. Well, they are, right? Because if you offer somebody enough money, they'll come to you. Right? I'm sorry, it's a fact. They're all all players want to play big money. Big money, right? We got in Laia Havertz, right? What are we paying him a week? 260,000 a week or something stupid like that. When he joined us, Northside, I was like, yeah, okay. I'm sure there is a player in there somewhere.
Yeah,
and it's going to be down to Arteta to find that player. I personally thought when he came to Arsenal, it was a pure confidence factor. He hadn't done it great at Chelsea. He needed bigging it up. And yeah, Arteta has played him. He's played him in a couple of different positions, and he scored a couple of goals. He got the charity penalty against Everton. Great, fantastic, happy for him. When we spend 65 sodding million pounds, yeah, on a player like that, and he just cannot get it over the line, why would we spend 60 million on a player, MITOMA, right, that could be the same sort of player? We're not a charity. We're not a retirement home, although we are for Chelsea. You know, we'll buy all their old pensioners, no problem. Don't worry about it. Well, when your career's over, lads, Chelsea, Arsenal will buy you. They'll give you a nice way out of the end of your career. No, this is Arsenal Football Club, right? We've won some. Well, I mean, we've been crap in Europe. I'll concede that. But you know, most FA Cup wins, all that. You know, we've won Premier League, Division 1s, yeah. And we were in Europe for 25 sodding years. Champions League, 25 years on the bounce. All right, one final, one semi-final. But the fact remains, this is still Arsenal. I think people forget what Arsenal Football Club means in football, right? I mean, years ago, people used to, back in the day, you say, who are you playing next week? Oh, we're playing the Arsenal. The Arsenal, not just Arsenal, we're playing the Arsenal. And it seems to be time has forgotten that. And a lot of people, fans, have forgotten that the history there shouldn't be forgotten about what Arsenal means. But we have got to evolve, because right now we're just floating along, you know, on the crest of the waves and just sitting there, and it's all nice, it's all happy. I mean, Arteta, I'll tell you, the first thing, if he went to Barcelona, first thing he'll do, buy a dog. It's the first thing he'd do, man, right? Because, you know, that's the winning way. You buy a dog. So it's all family, it's all nice. Come in the morning, Win, how you doing? Yeah, good boy, good girl, rather. And it's jokes, man. I mean, you tell me any top flight manager, right, in the day, Sir Alex Ferguson, anybody like that, right, has bought a sodding dog. You can't make it up. It gets worse and worse. And no, I stand by what I said. If you want a player badly enough, if you want to pay the money and you've got the right salary, the right setup, that player will come. Because they all want money. Yes, they want to win. I get that. Yeah, they want to win, but they'll come to you. You know, fact. It's, you know, at the end of the day, if somebody's going to offer you 200 grand a week, and the club you're at the moment is going to offer you 100 grand, oh, we'll give you another contract, we'll make it 120, and Arsenal come and say, no, we'll give you 200. What are you going to do? You're going to go, aren't you? But
no, I hear it. All I keep seeing is the same pucaria every day. Eu tô cansado dessa merda. I swear down, these filhos da puta better get the business done. Jez, I'm sick and tired of hearing news articles saying, oh, don't worry, we're preparing for the summer. They do this every year. Every year. Every time we go into January. Oh, don't worry, we're lining the player up for in the summer. We'll go out there and we're going to get the player. That's what they're saying now about Ivan Toney. So what? Do we think that our rivals don't have plans as well? Every time we do this, oh, we'll get the player, we'll get him in the summer. We did the same crap when we wanted to go out after Mudryk, yeah? And we weren't proactive. We didn't put the money down. We didn't get the player over the line. He went to Chelsea. Whether you rate the player or not, yeah? Arsenal identified him as a player they wanted. That's a target they missed out on. Same thing with Rafinha, allowing Barcelona to get into the race, allowing bigger clubs with more history, more titles to get into the race that have more pull. Oh yeah, he went Barcelona. At the end of the day, we've seen this time and time again. It ain't good enough. We always miss our targets because we think, oh, we'll just get him in the summer. Okay, cool, you get him in the summer, but now you're allowing your rivals to be in the bidding war. We're talking about going after Ivan Toney in the summer. Well, Chelsea need a striker. Man United need a striker. Man United are now changing their boardroom and changing all the structure at Man United. They're going to be moving serious. And we know with Man United, it's never been a lack of money. And when we're talking about history, they're a bigger club than us. So we need to move ahead of these clubs that have bigger pool, can offer more in wages. You know what I mean? Have more of a commercial pool, or a bigger club, have a bigger fan base. We have to move faster because yes, we are in the big six. But in the big six, we ain't the biggest. Not in England, and we're not the biggest in Europe. This is why we need to be proactive. But every time, oh, we'll take our time, we'll take our time. We identified Isak, didn't move fast enough. Newcastle went and got him. How many more times are we going to see this? Do you know what I mean? We always see it. We either just take our time and they go to one of our rivals, or we think that we're smarter than everybody else, and we go and get certain players that we think are better than players that are already doing it in the Premier League, and then we get stung. When we should have went and got Kante, we got Xhaka.
Yeah.
Who was the better player? Well, instead of going and getting Maddison, we got Fabi Vieira. Who was better? Instead of going out there and getting getting somebody like Onana, we went and got Lokonga. We got players like Lokonga. Is that good enough? And Jorginho. You may not rate Onana like as an elite player, but Onana is still better than Lokonga, and he's still better than Jorginho, in my opinion. So it's like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? And if they are better than Onana, why is this manager utilizing him? He's not utilizing those players. Do you know what I mean? And this is the thing that annoys me, Jez, yeah? It's just not good enough. Instead of going out there and getting Ivan Toney, we re-sign Eddie Nketiah. Instead of going and getting the right winger, yeah, we let go of Pepe, but we're keeping on Reece Nelson based off of what? Based off of what? What has he accomplished to be like, oh, okay, no, you can stay? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. We're all told, oh, this is Project Youth, but yet Balogun, out of the youngsters, he actually deserves to be in this team more than ESR. Balogun actually went out on loan and performed. He should be one of the developing players. You know what I mean? Balogun has been better as a youth project or process or whatever anyone wants to call it. Balogun showed more promise in recent time than ESR, than Nuntabaj, than Lokonga, than Fabi Vieira, than any of these guys that we're still continuing with, saying that, oh, this manager can develop them. I'm not saying Balogun is the answer. But the thing is, if we're starting to move differently to how we was before, there's way too many question marks. There's way too many things that don't make sense. We are not developing youth, because the youth that are here are not developing. The ones that go out on loan are deemed not good enough, and then they're kicked out the club. The narrative with players like ESR, they need time and we need to get behind them and they can develop. While Balogun, nobody ever said anything about, oh, Balogun needs time and it's wrong the way he just got rid of him after one loan deal. You know what I mean? It makes no sense. We have to continue with Nketiah and see if he can develop, but yet there's not the same energy for Balogun. Makes absolutely no sense. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't see, in terms of business, in terms of the way that we're doing things, I don't see anything changing. We still got a whole bench that needs to be sold off. We're still not proactive as we should be in the transfer market. Let's keep it real. Whether you're Arteta in or Arteta out, at the start of this January transfer window, everybody was saying we need a striker. So the fact that everybody, even the fan base, even if they're divided on the manager, if everybody could see that, why have we not gone out there and addressed that?
Totally right. I mean, there was rumours about Ivan Toney. He wanted to go to Arsenal, right? And we just sit there because, oh, we're the classy club. You know, he's got banned for gambling, whatever. I don't give a damn about that. Yeah, that's if he gets, but if he wants to gamble and he's got done for it, that's his problem. It's not my problem. It's not my money at Arsenal Football Club. The fact is, what I want is a quality striker. Somebody that's going to get you 20 goals a season minimum. When was the last time we had that player? Oh, Aubameyang, what happened there? Oh, fall out of Arteta, ended up training on his own. Then works himself off out to Barcelona. What's he do? Score goals. Right? Starts banging goals in again. And the thing about Balogun, right, goes out, has a good season in the Farmers League, apparently, so I'm told. Yeah. Comes back, gone. Why? Tell me, nobody's ever been able to answer me that question. Because at the end of the day, the guy had a decent time out in France, but we let him go. Now, to me, that is shocking. Give the guy a go. We put Saliba out there for what, 2 years, 2.5, 3 years, 2 years on loan. Come back, one of the best centre defenders we got, right? Nketiah, we put him out on loan to Leeds United. Couldn't even get a sodding game. Right? He comes back, yeah, We give him the 14 shirt, fair, okay. And then bang, oh, we give £100 a week as well. Yeah, lovely. What's he done? Nothing. Absolute arsewipe. He has got to be one of the worst strikers I've ever seen at Arsenal Football Club. If you can call him a striker, he's always in the wrong position. Yeah, okay. People say, yeah, but he scored a hat trick against Oxford United. Yeah, yippee bloody do. Oxford United, FA Cup. Was it? Or yeah, I think it was it the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup? I can't remember. Yeah, wow, Oxford bloody United. Well, what league are they in, people? Division 2. Yeah, fantastic. That's his level. But, you know, no, you don't want to talk about Jez because, you know, he'll come good. Well, he hasn't come good for 3 bloody years. Hasn't scored an away goal for a year. A year. You know, I mean, come on. You can't make this up. I mean, and we stick with him. No. Players of that ilk have got to leave Arsenal because all the time we hang on to them, man, we're in trouble. And yet, last week or the week before, we're linked with possibly getting Cucurella, or his bleeding name is from Chelsea.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you sure? Another reject? Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah, you're right. It's Division 1, Paul. Thank you. Yeah, they are Division 1. But still, that's the level. That's the level of Nketiah, right? He's not Premiership level. Why Northside? Why are we doing it again? Looking at being linked with another Chelsea reject. Is there something on going we don't know about? That this is we'll take all your crap, right? And we let you buy. We just become a selling club. We've gone back to how it hasn't changed. It was the same lies and deceit that we were told by Arsene Wenger. We have to sell. We can't buy the big players because of the stadium. Blah. That was all lies. The money was there. They just didn't, under Arteta's leadership, and I respect him because he brought Arsenal up to such a level, and that's where I expect to be. I don't expect to be where we are now, you know, lolling around and, you know, oh, well, might be, yeah, we might link, oh, right, well, yeah, we want to buy him, but no, we can't afford him. So, no, Casado, well, yeah.
Jez, you remember all this divvying around? This is why we didn't get Ibrahimovic.
Yeah.
Because of all of this crap. Of, oh, we may go, we may not go. Yeah. Oh, and then he said, I don't do trials. Arsene Wenger wanted him to do a trial. He's like, piss off. I'm not doing a trial. What is this? You know what I mean? You either want me, you don't want me. You know what I mean? And then we didn't get him. All this divvying around is why we could have got Ronaldo. We could have got Ronaldo. But all this divvying around, we allowed him to get scattered by Alex Ferguson. I think the story goes, Alex Ferguson, they played Sporting Lisbon, saw Ronaldo straight away, signed him up. There you go. All this divvying around. We have missed out on ballers, players that would have been icons in this club. We saw what they did in their careers. All of this divvying around, Ibra, maybe yes, maybe not. Ronaldo, maybe yes, maybe not. It's all nonsense. And I'm gonna keep it real, yeah. Some fans, obviously, it's not their fault when they were born, but us lot that are old enough, when we got Nasri, I didn't know who the hell Nasri was before he came to Arsenal. I didn't know who Haleb was. I didn't know about Haleb. I didn't know about Rosicky. I didn't know about Adebayor. I didn't know about Van Persie like that. Do you know what I'm saying? I heard of Fabregas, but I didn't know he was going to be that kind of baller. I didn't know about him that well. Like, when you look at the player ID under Wenger, yeah, there's a lot that I put that I don't like about Wenger, but his player ID with limited funds was, in his heyday, was up there, Jez, up there. And that was around the time when the narrative was, we didn't have enough money, we're paying off the stadium. And you look at some of the players that we got through at the prices that we got them through. Alex Song, I didn't know about Alex Song like that before he came to Arsenal. And look at him. Look at how he stepped up after Fabregas left. Look at the player he became. You know what I mean? And it's like, bro, it's crazy. Like the amount of ballers that we brought to Arsenal, yeah, that the fan base as a whole didn't know. And look at what they turned out to be. That is why I get annoyed when people say, oh, who would you get? There's no quality in the market. It's not down to fans to scout these players. We pay millions of pounds for our scouting networks all over the world to come out with these players. And we see smaller clubs and our rivals always, you know, finding gems. So why can't we find gems? Don't tell me there's no quality in the market. Nobody, let's keep it real. No one in this chat, none of us sit there and watch every single league around the world. So how do we know about the market if we're not informed? We're not watching every league. So how can you say there's no quality in the market? But we've got scouting networks all over the world, watching games, watching teams. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. How is there no quality in the market? But Real Madrid keep finding gems in Brazil. We've got Edu looking at the Brazilian Simon Cowell, the filho da puta. What is he doing? What is he doing? Because the last Brazilian he brought, yeah, from over there in Brazil, Marquinhos, is out on loan. What's going on? But and it's not just Brazil. What I'm saying is we've got scouting network everywhere. We had obviously Arsene Wenger bringing that connection with French players. You know what I'm saying? Why aren't we not in different markets pipping out all these players, getting the Mitomas that flipping Brighton got for what, 1.8 million pounds, now valued at 50, 60 mil? You know, because if you're getting him at 1.8 million, fine, I get it, because he's not a rubbish player. He's just not worth 60 million. We could have got him before he was worth 60 million or 50 million in this market. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense, Jez. Why didn't we see Ivan Toney? Why are we not looking down in the championship? I know not every player from the championship makes it, but some of them do. So why didn't we pick up Ivan Toney when he's in the championship? I hate when people come out with the bucaria about, oh, but who would you get? Oh, but this and that. I don't want to hear it. We used to get ballers at this club and we didn't know anything about them. So what's changed? And we had limited funds. Now we're able, the stadium's paid off. Apparently, getting Champions League football qualifying. This is what they said last season. Getting Champions League football, we can attract world-class players.
Yeah.
Why are we not bringing any world-class players in? Because by that logic, which is what Top Goon has said, well, we've already qualified for Champions League. So where's the players then? That's all we needed. It just doesn't make any sense. Why is it that we're still rubbish at selling players? Why is it? Why is it still we're still looking at sales like Iwobi being our biggest transfers, our biggest money that we've got for a transfer? And that was what, 40 million pounds, something like that? It's ridiculous. What has actually changed at Arsenal? Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. We are still moving the same. And I actually think we're worse because even under Wenger, I can't remember a team that I would say, you know what, eight of these players in this squad are rubbish players that he identified. Of course, there was some duds. Of course, there were some players that weren't that great that we got, of course. But even with limited funds, I didn't hear, I don't remember, off the top of my head, I don't remember saying 8 players, 8 signings have been rubbish. Under this manager, I can name 8 players off the top of my head that are already not good enough and never going to be good enough.
And more. And you've summed it up, mate. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, the Cronkies during the pandemic, wasn't it? They got rid of all the scouts because now it's as you quite rightly say, it's a scouting network. But why do we never get in the early shout of Argentinian players, Chilean players? Down in South America, you know, they play sexy football. I'm not saying all the teams do, but we bought a player from there. Was it Brazil? We could have got him for nothing. Oh no, to keep good relations, we'll bung them 3 million. Really? Yeah, that's good business sense. So you can get him for nothing, but we'll give you 3 million just to keep good relations. Come on, that stinks to me. Absolutely stinks. And then, you know, you hear people say, well, Edu was involved with Brazilian football. Yeah, he was involved with the Brazilian national team. He didn't have to negotiate. All he was part of that was selecting players to either play for the Brazilian national team or trial. There was no money involved, or, well, I don't know. I mean, you don't know, in Brazilian football, there might be money, you know, back pocket and all that sort of stuff. But it's ridiculous. We have gone backwards with our business. I'm sorry. Yeah, we found Julian Alvarez from River Plate. I mean, what was the other one I was thinking about when we were talking a minute ago? Ex-Liverpool player, Suarez, right? Release, we agreed his release course plus £1. I mean, that's an insult, isn't it? insult. I mean, what that was Wenger days. Yeah, I mean, I know Wenger liked to play the game now and again, but we are not serious contenders. We just slip along. We'll accept something if we're in for a player. Yeah, well, we'll just mess about. We'll mess about, and you can't run a football club like that. Seriously, at the end of the day, if you want to achieve greatness, and greatness like winning in Europe, winning cups, yeah, winning the Premier League, yeah, then you have to go in and be strong. And I just get wound up, man. I just get so wound up. It frustrates me because I just see another season, yeah, sat here. Oh well, that's that season done then. We'll go again then, shall we? Mate, you can't make it up. Seriously, you know, if we are serious contenders, then yeah, I mean, it just pisses me off, man.
You know, right now the AFCON is on. I bet Arsenal don't have no scouts watching the games.
Guaranteed.
Money. Because there's going to be at least 1 or 2 stars in every competition. There's always 1 or 2, you know, surprising players that are, oh, who's he? Look at the way he's playing. You know what I mean? Amrabat, we saw when they beat Portugal. Amrabat was one. You know what I mean? That was a highlight, and everyone's like, oh, who's this player? Actually, you know what? He's actually a decent player. Do you know what I mean? Every competition, I remember James for Colombia. You know what I mean? Put his name on the map when he performed for his nation. Real Madrid come in for him and buy him. There's always in every competition. I bet you any money Arsenal are not proactive and watching the AFCON and thinking, oh, look at that player. Actually, that one, we didn't know about him. Let's get, who does he play for? Let's get some, let's start scouting him, see what he's saying. Let's see if he keeps it up for his club, the same way he's playing for his nation. I bet we're not proactive. Yeah. There's flipping the Copa Libertadores, which is the Champions League of South America. There's always ballers there. There's always ballers. The guy in the chat, Man City fan, he said about Julian Alvarez, 14 million pounds. You know what I mean? I'm sure maybe he was playing in the Copa America, maybe he didn't. You know what I'm saying? But there's always ballers over there in South America. Do you know what I mean? Why are we not watching these players? Why are we not scouting them? What's going on? Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. We've got this whole self-sustaining model. We don't scout well and we don't sell well. So how is it going to be self-sustaining? And is anyone surprised that we're hitting FFP or we're hitting financial fair play, all this rubbish? How is it sustainable? How is it sustainable? It just doesn't make any sense. I'm not asking for this club. Every player has to be £100 million signing. I'm just looking at quality, bringing in quality, because we've got quantity. We never had a problem with quantity. We've got we've got a load of players on the bench. We've got a whole bench full of quantity, but where's the quality there? It just doesn't make any sense. All this, oh, buy cheap, buy cheap. Yeah, but you've got to scout properly to buy cheap. You can't just buy anything. I just don't understand it, Jez. We bought Nuntavaj cheap. Now we got to replace him. We bought Lokonga cheap. Now we got to replace him. We bought Kivior cheap. Now we got to replace him. You know what I mean? We bought flipping Fabi Vieira cheap. Now we got to replace him. We did the cheapskate thing and flipping with Reece Nelson. We need another right winger. We need another right winger. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, honestly, Jez, it doesn't make any sense in the way that we're doing business. It just, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, how can you have a self-sustained model? What was I don't even understand what the idea was in this self-sustained model, because they're buying young. Then why aren't we able to get rid of these players? When we no longer need them, why can't we get rid of him? Were Liverpool struggling to get rid of Solanke when they deemed him not good enough? No. They got 30, 40 million for him, got rid of him. Boom, gone. None of this, oh, sign him another contract, you know, to protect his value. No, right, cool. 30, 40 million, you're off. You're not good enough for this club and where we're going. Sorry, goodbye. With Arsenal, oh, maybe he'll come good. Maybe he'll develop. Maybe he'll do this. Maybe he'll do that. It's all hope. At this football club, it's all based on hope. Nothing is logical. It's just hope. Oh, the youngsters may come good. Bro, there's so many academies. Almost every club has an academy. How many players actually make it? Just being young doesn't mean that you are going to be a world-class player. Just being young doesn't mean that you're going to make it at the top. Most players don't. Most of these academy players don't. It's like, what, 1-2% that make it? So this whole narrative with, oh, but they're young, so what? Remember when we had Bentley and Pennant come through? They were young. Did they make it at Arsenal? No, they didn't.
No.
So honestly, I just don't understand this obsession with, oh, but they're young, they will come good. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to hit their ceiling. Do you know what I mean? I remember when Bojan, do you remember? I think he was at Barcelona. He was touted to be the next Messi. Yeah, he was touted. He had all these people saying he's going to reach, oh, Messi level is going to be the next Messi. The guy fell off a cliff. You know what I mean? Januzaj at Man United. He was another one that was the next Messi. What happened to him? You always get these players with all this hype and they're going to be this and they're going to be that. The majority of them never reach that level. The majority of them never even reach a fraction of that level. So I don't understand it. We used to get rid of Bentley and Pennant and all these players that weren't good enough. Carlos Vela, we got rid of him. You know what I mean? Got rid of Carlos Vela. Nobody was like, oh, but Carlos Vela has to make it at Arsenal. Not good enough. Went to La Liga, did all right, and then got his move to the MLS. No one cried about it. No one said, oh, well, that's toxic and negative. Maybe he'll come good. What are we talking about?
It's all maybes, ifs and ands. You know, a mate of mine, he had his son, he ended up at the Chelsea Academy. Decent footballer, looked class when he was playing for a team. He got snapped. He went on trials at Chelsea. He got in the academy. Never made it. Plays at Aldershot Town now. You know, all right. He's a semi-pro. Fair play. Good luck. But you know, there was the potential. He was good, but he wasn't the levels. As you said, it's the top 1 to 2%. It's the cream of the cream that make it. And I just love to know actually what goes on at Hale End, what goes on down there, because under this manager, how many of those players have come through? That's the worrying factor. I don't know how many youth team players we've got, but how many actually appear. I watched the game today, Liverpool Norwich City, right? FA Cup, yeah. Klopp brought on 3 young kids. Well, they were 4-1 up at the time, or 4-2, or whatever it was. But he brought on 3 young kids. Yeah, he had on the bench, and I'm like, well, respect, fair play to him, because you know, obviously he rates these players, wants to give them a run out to see what they're about. All right, I mean, no disrespect, it was they're 4 or 5-2 up in that game, and he's obviously thought, right, I'm going to take my players, the players off, rest them. I'm going to bring on these 3 youth players and get out there. You know, they look decent. I don't see that happening at Arsenal. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm not watching the right games, because I never see any of these little kids coming on. But you know, that just says to me one big problem, Northside. We've got a crap academy, or Arteta is so arrogant and disrespectful that he doesn't rate them because they're young. Well, I'm sorry, at times you have to give people a go. You know, I just don't see this happening anymore. I mean, Wenger did it, fair play. He used to do it in the old League Cup, didn't he? He put the youth teams out. Yeah. And if they got through, they need strengthening. He'd have a few, you know, senior players on the bench. Yeah, the classic game I remember when we were at Reading, and it went that crazy game, and he had to strengthen the team. But you know, at least Wenger did give the youth team a chance in the League Cup. We don't do that, but we can't even win or get through in the Carrier Bag Cup. Can't even do that, right? So God help us, what's going to happen if we progress in the Champions League? I mean, we've got Porto in a couple of weeks' time away. Yeah, that's going to be a tough game, man. You know, a tough game. I mean, as Ravi says there, man. You know, is there any positives at Arsenal? Not right now, in my book. I don't actually. You know, people call, oh, Jez, you're negative all the time. You're negative. No. I expect success, and I'm not seeing any sodding success. So, you know, what have I got to be positive about, Northside? What have I got to be? Right? We've lost FA Cup. We've lost the Carrier Bag Cup. We're probably going to be out in the next 1 or 2 rounds of the Champions League. And are we going to win the Premier League? No. So what's there to be positive about, man? Don't see any good signings coming in, right? We're still hanging on to the dross that shouldn't be here, right? Why haven't we sold some of these players in this window? If they're not playing for the club, sell them. Get them out the door, get some money in. When it comes to the summer window, right? You say, well, we've got some money in for him. We've got some money in for him, and that can go in the pot. No. We'll wait until the summer, and then we'll let them go out the door for bugger all. Yeah, it's a joke, man, and it just winds me up. Seriously, does wind me up.
No, I hear that. I feel the same. What positives do you want me to say? Everything that I criticize, I want the club to act upon it, and they've not acted upon it. Have we acted upon the fact that the bench is light? No. Have we acted upon the fact that we need a striker? No. Have we acted upon the fact that Saka's looked burnt out this season and we need another right winger? No. Another game goes by, Saka looking like a passenger because he can't get subbed off. You know what I mean? What is there? You know what I mean? We're going with a manager that now the narrative is, as long as we win something, or as long as we put context and we get close. Nah, I'm not hearing that. That ain't good enough. The expectation was to win a major honor this season. Let's not move the goalpost, because people, all these top gooners can already see that this manager ain't going to win a major honor this season. Yeah, let's not move the goalpost. That was the expectation. So I can't just create positivity when there's no positivity. You know what I mean? And it just, I don't know. I really just don't understand it. We are going to redirect to Jez's channel. Make sure you are subbing to the channel. Make sure you are also subbing to Jez's channel. The link to his channel is in the description, is in the title of the show. Let me just quickly go onto this. What's this? Jez, Northside, you guys are just real and say things people are scared to speak on. Well, it is what it is. Hopefully, both of us just being careless, like fearless in a sense of just saying how we see it, encourages others, you know, to say it how they want to say it. You know what I mean? And not thinking that, you know, you have to be silenced or you have to say what people want to hear. Just say the truth. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, me and Jess are going to be proven right at the end of the season. Unfortunately, because I'm sure, you know, I don't want to speak for Jez, but I'm sure both of us would love to be wrong. Because if Arsenal win the league, do you think I really care about people coming up to me saying, oh, well, you was against it. Oh, you didn't believe. Oh, you're in the mud. I don't mind. I'll happily be in the mud with a Premier League title. I'll happily be in the mud with a Champions League title. I don't care, because I'll be too busy celebrating the fact that we won a major honor. I don't care. I honestly do not care. All I want is this club to be great and move the way that they used to move when I started supporting this football club. You know what I mean? In the 90s, where we were going for it. And every time we didn't win it, it was almost like we better win it next season. Yeah. You know, in all the years I saw of Fergie, I never heard anyone say, oh, well, we are going up against Fergie. And more times than not, he got the better of us. 13 league titles to R3. You know what I mean? So in the Premier League period. So, and I don't hear anyone say, oh, but it's Fergie. I never heard that. Never. No. Not even from the young fans. Never heard that. It was all, oh, we're going to go. What we doing? Oh, don't worry, man. You know what I mean? We got Anelka. We got Henri. Oh, we got Vieira. Oh, we're doing this. We're doing that. We're buying this player, buying that player. We're going again. You know what I mean? Fierce rivalry. Everyone was on board. I don't know when it turned into this whole thing about, oh, well, why are you judging the club? Why are you this? Why are you that? This is how the fan base used to be. We used to be annoyed at the fact that they would be, if they won the league, we would be fuming. Fuming. You know what I mean? And they would be the same when we won the league. And that was it. But everyone was united that the best for their own football club was to win major honors. I don't know when it became, oh, but you just got to get behind processes and this, man. Nah, man. It wasn't about all of that. So at the end of the day, bro, let people say whatever the hell they want to say, bro. I'm not going to shut up. I'm not going to stop saying how I feel. I couldn't care less. You know what I mean? And the people that get rattled by it, I hope they get as rattled by what I say as I am with this football club, yeah, being a joke for the last 20 years. Because I'm just projecting the way that this club has pissed me off for 20 years. That is all. My anger is fueled by the crap I've seen for 20 years. And Jez knows. Me and Jez both have seen the 20 years of the demise of this football club. So why don't we have the right to be annoyed? Why don't we have the right to call it out? Why don't we have the right to say it as it is? Because I ain't been on YouTube for 20 years, and neither has Jez. So before we were the toxic and negative ones that weren't believing, why were we failing before we even had a channel? It's irrelevant. When people try to put it on content creators, why? I haven't had a channel for 20 years. Neither has Lee. So what was the excuse then when we were losing? Because we didn't have our toxic channels saying toxic messages and doing our channel. What was the excuse then? What was the excuse? It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Yeah. So I hope, yeah, I rattle all these top gooners every time they come in the chat and they get good. You're rattled, good. I hope you're just as annoyed and angry as I am with this football club. You can direct it at me, but ultimately you are the ones that are continuing this bugadia. Yeah. And the more I keep seeing people justifying and bigging up this flipping crap process, the angrier I'm gonna be, and the more I'm gonna stick it on this club because I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. I lost people. My granddad used to love this. My granddad loved this club. My granddad never got to see Arsenal become great. Yeah. Rest in peace. He's the one I got on my chain. He never saw us be great again. Not everyone's got all the time for this Project 20, Project 30. You know what I mean? Not everyone in the fan base is 18 years old. Do you know what I mean? People think that you got forever. What about the fans that have been watching this club for 20 years? Have they got another 20 years? Maybe some do, maybe some don't. But the faster we push it, you know what I mean? People won't have memories like I have. My granddad, you know, unfortunately passing away, not seeing Arsenal become great, not seeing Arsenal lift the Premier League again. But people don't think about that. Oh, we got time. Don't worry. Oh, we've got all the time. We don't. We don't. So I'm not listening to it. Listen, Jez, before I keep rambling on. Let the people know.
You summed it up beautifully. You know, I mean, I've been watching Arsenal Football Club 53 years. Yeah. I've seen us be crap. I mean, in the 70s, we weren't great. We weren't a great team. Nearly got relegated 74, the year Man United did. But, you know, the one thing I would honestly have to say, the whole thing started to twist and turn when we left at Highbury. We went to the Emirates, and it to me, that's when things started to. It was too much control from Wenger, right? Now I rated Wenger. He brought greatness to Arsenal Football Club that we've been striving for. I mean, we had George Graham before that, iconic manager in my view. Wenger was superb. He brought a new philosophy in. He brought in probably the best football I've ever seen Arsenal play in my life, without a doubt. The players he brought in was something else. But then it started to change. He just had his hand on the reins too tightly. There was no flexibility. It was just very much like it is now with Arteta. Yeah, I'd love Arteta to prove me wrong. I'd be the first to sit here at the end of the season, and then we've got the Premier League trophy or the Champions League. I'd be the first to open the bottle of champagne and say, "Well done, Wenger. Well done, Arteta. Well done, man. You know, you've done it. You proved me wrong, and I will shut up." Yeah, and I'd accept that. I'll accept that as a slap in the face from him. But I know it's not going to happen. So that's why I'm sitting here saying, why do we keep putting up with this year in, year out? It's not going to happen. And don't keep crying about the fact that people like me, Lee Gunner, Northside, Dan Potts, blah, 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 blah. We've been there and we've bloody seen it. So at the end of the day, we want to see that success come back to our great football club. I'm fed up with it. Yeah. I'm 62. How long have I got to wait for another trophy? 20 years? I'll be dead. Because Arsenal...
Hopefully not. We'll be celebrating.
Arsenal will have killed me by then. That's be right. You know, at the end of the day. You know, but the fact remains, we've got to change. Because if we keep going along like this, all this nice sort of situation, we ain't going to win shit, man. And... It's unacceptable, you know. I mean, other clubs around Europe, Bayern Munich, PSG, Barcelona, Real Madrid, they must be laughing at us. They must be laughing. Probably not Barcelona, because apparently, right, they want our manager. Well, if you want him, come and get him. I'll drive you to the airport, Arteta. Not a problem.
Static's come up with this to wrap up the show. Apparently, the Sun reported it. A steak sandwich costs over £25. Apparently,
yeah, it does it up there. Yeah, the Emirates. Yeah, you get it in a little plastic box, about 8 chips, a little bit of salad, steak sandwich. Yeah, it's actually £27.
Wow. And we're the ones profiting. We're the ones profiting off of the demise of this football club, and that's what they're charging. I think Fuad told me. Fuad told me I think a Coke is £5, something like that. Yeah.
250 ml, right? Glass of red wine in a plastic cup. Yeah, plastic clear cup. Yeah, £9.50, and it's absolute dishwater. So if you want a steak sandwich and chips and a crap glass of wine, yeah, look at that. It's nearly 40 quid. 40 quid.
And if you're going there with your missus, that's 80 quid plus your tickets and everything else. And, and apparently we're a family. We're a family. Why are you charging people that amount of money? Not everybody has the means to pay that. Some people are blessed. Some people are not. And this is the thing. Jez, I've said it before. I don't have memories of going to the Emirates as a kid. I don't even have memories of having a shirt. You know why? My mum was a single mum. You know what I mean? Raising 3 kids, working 3 jobs. I don't have those memories. I would love to have those memories. I now have the means to go to Arsenal. I have the means to pay my money and pay my ticket. You know what I mean? And have those memories. Go to the parade. Go, you know what I mean? If we lift a major honor. And people don't realize that. I was 13 when we last won the league. We weren't in an amazing financial situation. We were a bit better. And this is the thing that people don't understand. Oh, give it time, give it this, give it that. A lot of people have not had a lot of memories that other people had. You know, and maybe some people can only afford to go to 1 game. Why are you charging them 40 quid just to eat at the Emirates on top of everything else, on top of all the stupid merch that's also overpriced? Not everyone has the means to do that. Not everyone has that financial. People got responsibility. Some people work and they support their family. Some people work and their money goes into caring for their parent or a family member or somebody that may have a disability. Do you know what I mean? How is that looking after the fan base after all this crap that we've had to tolerate? It's ridiculous, bro. Absolutely ridiculous. And this club just don't care. I'm not putting no penny into it. I could go and spend. I'm not spending my money, Jez. I'm not spending it.
No, not me.
I'm not spending it.
The only time I will revisit it, right? I've got a 9-year-old grandson. I took him to his first game last year. Brighton away, only because it's not far. It's easy. It's so easy for me to get there, and for him, right? So, you know, he loves it. He loves the day out, and he's begging me to take him to the Emirates. I said, I will take you one day, but I worked it out, right? The cost of that, both of us going on the train, getting up to Finsbury Park. Kenny, fair play, bless him. He gave me a great tip. Match tickets, he's going to want to go in the shop. Of course, he's a little kid. He's going to want to buy something, right? Whatever it may well be. Yeah, he's going to have something to eat. He wants to, you know, he's not going to actually drink alcohol, but he's going to want a glass of Coke, 5 quid. Nice. Yeah, that is going to be over. For me, that's going to be a 250 quid day. You know, that's going to be. I priced it out. 2 tickets, 1 for him, 1 for me. And they won't be great seated. They'll be up in the gods, right? Because I'm not going to spend 150 quid on a ticket for him and a ticket for me. You know, it's just not happening. And I would not even entertain eating in the concourse now. Right? I'd say to him, right, when we get to the station in London, we'll have something to eat here. And then we'll get up to the Emirates, because I'm not going to pay those sort of prices, man. It's it's madness. People do it, man. That
is ridiculous. Yeah. 250 quid. Yeah. And he's right. I paid my ass off twice to travel from Belgium to see a game live. Tickets prices absolutely ridiculous. Bro, just don't bother, man. You know what I mean? Go on holiday either with the boys. If you got a partner, go with your partner. Don't waste it. Do not waste it. My girl, I think the last game I went to was when Unai Emery was here, Arsenal Man City, and she bought the tickets for us to go on my birthday, as a birthday treat. I said, don't ever do it again. Don't ever do it again. Don't waste your money. Don't do it again. Rubbish game. We end up losing. And I said, nah, I'm not paying for this rubbish. You know, obviously I didn't pay, but I just felt bad. I just felt like, nah. She even said, oh, do you want to get, you know, at halftime? Oh, do you want to get like some like pie and chips or something? Nah. I said, nah. I'm disgusted with the performance. I'm disgusted how the club is doing business. I don't want to spend no money. And we didn't. And we didn't. I said, look, if you want it, okay, fair enough. If you're hungry, I'll wait. I'll wait after the game. Why should I put my hard-earned money? You know what I mean? Everybody, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Football is the only business where you can fail year in, year out, and these lots still have a job, and everyone's still crying how unjust it is to call them out. And I've always said this: if Jez, when you were working, me working, if I put the same effort as this football club does, yeah, the players, the staff, if I put the same effort as they do, would I have a job for long?
No. No. Same as that. I totally agree. I mean, when I was employed and I left and I set up my own business, if I put the effort in this lockdown, I'd have been bust within 6 months. When I went out on my own, man, I was working 18-hour days. You know, I was like going out on, I hated doing it, but I advertised 24-hour call out. And I did get called out sometimes, 9 o'clock at night, blah, 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 that sort of shit. But I had to do it because I'm now on my own. I've made my statement. Here I am. It's Jez. I'm out here, gas man. You know, I'll come and fix your boiler at 9 o'clock at night if I can. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you have to build on that. And this is what I don't understand I get it when people come over, like this guy here, 250 euros for a ticket. Man alive. 250 euros. You know, I mean, fair play to you fella for doing that, but I respect you for doing it. And that's without everything else. He's had to do that. You know? Christ, I mean, you know, I just won't do it. Just won't do it. I just won't do it, man. I mean, I gave my season ticket up in 2016. I just thought this is going all down the toilet. The costs were getting just unachievable, man. You know, train prices were going up and blah, blah, blah and everything. And I just saw the whole dross that was being sold to us as fans. I thought, nah, stuff this. I've had enough. You know, broke my heart to do it. I won't lie. But at the end of the day, no. I'm not going to pay 85 quid for a ticket that's up there on up in the roof.
Bro, you'll have seats on top of the Sky satellites. You know what I mean? Watching the game on top of the Sky satellite.
You know, I mean, I haven't got the eyes I had when I was 18, man. I have to take binoculars to like, well, what's going on down there, boys? You know, Jesus Christ, you can't make it up. Seriously. No, I can't be asked, man. Can't be asked.
This is what I mean. Irons fan said, I remember going to West Ham with £20 and still had change. Now I need a mortgage. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Big up legends. Last season, a mate of mine paid 400 euros for a ticket to see us against Man United. Shocking. Yeah. Listen, I can't tell people what to do with their money, but I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. You know, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. Especially, you know, like obviously, like moving out of my mum's house, having my own place and stuff. I can't afford to do that. I can't afford to do that. She'll look at me and think, what are you doing? Like, what are you actually doing? You know what I mean? £400. That's like my spending money for the month.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna bin that on one day out. You know, I'd rather personally. I know this is great. If I'm going to spend 250 quid or £200, yeah, I'd take the wife out for a nice meal. You know, we go out, lovely meal, some nice wine, have a good time. Yeah. I'm sorry, I can watch Arsenal on the TV up here for nothing. Yeah, well, yeah, you've got to pay for Sky TV. I know that, but you know, I'll be honest, man. I can't deal with all the hassle of getting there nowadays. It's just grief, you know. And nah. I've done it for too long, you know, and I don't get the buzz out of it. And I think once you don't get that buzz, Northside, it's time to go. You think, nah, I'm not enjoying this. Why am I wasting my money? You know, it's time to walk away.
Yeah. Nah, listen, I hear that, man. I hear that. Yeah, it's just crazy. You know, we come out of a pandemic and this is the prices that they're giving people. You know, let's keep it real. You know, thank God I'm in a good position. But not everyone's recovered since the lockdown. Not everyone's financially recovered. A lot of people took a lot of hits. You know what I mean? And that's what you're doing to the fan base. That's how much you're charging for tickets for food. Not so what? So now what happens is Jez, yeah, it becomes a classist thing where if you're not earning a certain amount of money, you can't go games. You can't do certain things because they're pricing you out. And it's like, well, hold on. Like, how many times? I think it was a season or two ago where they raised the tickets twice. I saw Lee talking about it. I didn't know because obviously I don't go to games. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, why are the ticket prices being raised? For what? What have we won? If we won something and you raise the tickets a bit, I can understand. Because now people are, okay, cool, you've achieved. It's justified. But what's the ticket prices being raised for? What have we achieved? What have we done? Where are we going? It's just, it's crazy. But listen, we could talk about this forever. I mean, listen, Jez, you've been there and done that. Unfortunately, I'm in the years of my life that I could do that. And like you said, I don't have the incentive to do it. You know, I'd love to be creating these kind of memories, you know what I mean, for one day to tell my kids what I didn't have. You know what I mean? Oh, I remember going to the Arsenal. I remember going doing this, doing that. I remember when we won this and that. But I don't. And that hurts and that annoys me because it's like, I'd love to be going to the Arsenal. I actually got a friend, yeah? I got a friend that is always asking me to go. And he's like, look, listen, I sort you out. Come. I said, nah, I'm not coming. Yeah, and he's like, no, don't worry, you don't have to pay. I'll cover you. And he's like, you just come to the games. Yeah, my boy, I'm not gonna say his name, but yeah. And he's like to me, yo, come to the games. And he goes all the time. He goes with his boys. He's like, I'll cover. And I said, bro, it's not about the money, bro. I'm not going because I don't have that. Arsenal has sucked the heart and the love I had for this club. They've sucked it out. I don't have it in me to want to go because I know I'm just gonna go there. I'm gonna get angry. And I don't want to be in a position where I end up losing my temper with someone if someone says the wrong thing because I'm going to be really angry. So I'd rather not go. I'd rather not go and not get myself in that situation. But he's always begging me. I said, no, I'm just doing my YouTube. I'm just going to chill. I'm not going to the games. Come. No. And I don't have to pay a penny. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to do it, bro. Don't worry about it. You go. If you want to go, you go. I'm not going to judge you if you go. I just don't. You're going to go there all amped up for the game, and I'm going to be I'm going to be looking like a Debbie Downer. What's the point? But anyway, people, listen. Jez is going live right now. I'm making him 6 minutes late. We're going to redirect to Jez's channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. The link to his channel is in the title, but we're going to redirect straight there. So make sure you're hitting the like. Make sure you go support Jez. And yeah, Jez, what you got coming up? What are we redirecting to? What's the show?
So it's going to be a match preview with the Nottingham Forest fan, the long-haired Jetty, and we've got early doors, West Ham, and we've got Jack Ramsey, Palace. We're going to be talking about the upcoming games. And then tomorrow I'm on with, obviously, at 5 o'clock, the usual podcast with Lee Gunner and Kenny Kent. And then a watch-along, I think, on Tuesday night for the Nottingham Forest Arsenal game. So that'll be interesting. But, mate, thanks for having me on, Northside. Loved it.
Come on, bro. Love, man. Love for turning up. Anyway, listen, people. We've got 188 people in the building. You know what I mean? If you want to hear more facts on the club, make sure you stay here. Don't go anywhere. As soon as the stream ends, we're going straight over to Jez's channel. Big up, Jez. Love for jumping on. Big up to the chat and everybody else. And yeah, hopefully Arteta is